We're glad you could stay with us on the conversation today. Youth engagement in good governance is vital for creating inclusive, transparent, and accountable leadership. How are youths involved in good governance in Nigeria? Do we have the number of the youths that should be relevant in the political space? And how can youths begin to be, use their numbers, their voices, and their expertise in ensuring that good governance is not only achievable in Nigeria, but becomes a norm? That is the conversation today, and joining us is Honorable Babatunde Abdulaziz. He is the coordinator, Coalition of Lagos Indigenous Youth. Thank you for being here on the program today.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. So before we started, I said there could be governance and it might not be good.
Okay.
So what's your own perception or your own, how would you describe good governance?
Good governance is what we all know if things are going the way it ought to go. But we all know that over the years there have been improvements, and there have been so many other ways because people like me were probably given opportunity out of the issue of youth inclusion. And I think way back 2004 was when the United Nations said every country should go and set up their youth parliament. And I was once a parliamentarian in Lagos State, the 3rd Assembly. I represented Oshodi Solo, Constituency 2 at that time. And since then, I've been getting involved one way or the other. If you look at the numbers of young people now in Nigeria, even at the federal and state levels, you're having a 34-year-old minister. So it shows that over time, things are changing. But in terms of good governance, now, it's a separate thing to allow young people come into governance, and it's a different thing to see them perform,
right,
and, bring up the innovative ideas, help in improvement of democratic growth and all.
Yeah, I mean, before we delve into how young people can,
Okay.
I mean, one must have an understanding of what you want.
Oh.
And so if we have an understanding of what governance should be all about, so because again, you are coordinating a lot of young people, and there must be an idea of what, the perception is. So when you say governance,
Okay.
when you want to contribute to good governance in Nigeria, in Lagos State, what are your thoughts? What do you want? What do you understand by good governance?
Good governance is very simple because we all want a country that works for all.
Okay.
That will help young people strive in their whatever engagements they choose or they so desire. Even both young and old, that everything, we have a smart city. We all know we are in an innovative, jetty generations where things are smart city, everything, there are different things, technology here and there. We want good roads, we want good infrastructures and all of these things. So I don't think every little young growing child on the street of Lagos or Nigeria, for example, you could see what we are having in Lagos. You cannot compare Lagos to virtually other states within Nigeria in terms of development and all.
Okay.
But yeah, we may not be where we ought to be, but we are gradually moving closer to it because, one, the improvements have changed over the years. So that's why I'm saying that it's no longer news that we all understand what good governance is. It is where the direction and how we choose to go about achieving these things that really matters.
Okay.
Okay, but aside from technology now, what are the other basic elements of good governance? And how can we carry our youth along in ensuring that these basic elements of good governance are provided?
Mentorship. Mentorship is one of those things. You have said something now that apart from innovative ideas and all of these things, there are several other programs, skills acquisition centers and all of these things. And I know Lagos State is doing quite a lot of things relating to all of these things. If you go to the Ministry of Youth today, there are several programs lined up for all that young people can probably tap into one way or the other. But you know why we all are focused on the technology and all and everything? It is because that is where the world is driving into. So that is why there's no way we are all encouraged to move in the direction of where the world is going into. You cannot tell us to be different when other, the world is going into crypto, digital, all of these things, advancements. You're seeing all what social media is at all turned out to become. And if you look at it, Lagos has created a lot of platforms for whatever. If you look at most of these kids now, it's Lagos, they all start their stores from the mall. And you know, the improvement, they become whatever. The atmosphere is there. The platform is there.
Okay.
It's left for you to now tap into it. But you know, we allow unnecessary things distract us. And this is part of the issue of social media having its advantage and also having its own disadvantages.
Right, but at the moment, would you say that indeed the young people or the youths that we have at the moment, they totally understand their impact in governance? And if they do, what are some of the fresh ideas, the fresh innovations that young people can bring into that space?
Well, without me wanting to probably just beat around the bush, yes, young people are already coming up because I'm also a young person. So if I tell you that young people ain't coming up, it's more like I'm also castigating myself. Yes, over the years, we have not been given this opportunity, unlike now. We are having other young people come up with different ideologies and all and everything. That would take me to drifting into someone I so much look up to, as whether we are contemporaries or not, but I look up to him because I've seen the little things he's been able to do over the years. I remember way back in 2005, I was called for an event, like an NGO program, wanting to uplift young children. To my surprise, when I got to that event, I discovered there was Seyi Tinubu that owned that NGO. As at that time, I don't think a lot of people already knew about this guy's name. A lot of people didn't know. That's way back 2005. And I remember another time at around 2014, because I had been in the political space and all and everything. There was a particular group they created, BAIT Foundation, Bola Ahmed Foundation. What are these people also skilled in wanting to do? Wanting to create space for young people in leadership positions and all and everything. Thereabouts, and you know, so going on from there, you see that I only deviated calling his own name. There are several other young people trying to do different things at one level or the other. If you, most especially in the tech world, we have dominated. You are seeing the likes of Chipa. These are young people. The guy who innovated the Go-Kada of that time that transformed into other apps on or before the likes of Uber came into the country. He's in Nigeria. He's a Lagosian. He works here in Lagos. He lived in Egbeda. He was a childhood friend. So it is out of these things that you see that young people, for me, in the tech world, we are really doing very well. One, I think, what we need to drift into, maybe agriculture, you know, making it more attractive for us and all. But, you know, because young people, we all want the fancy life. We all want to wear the suit. We all want to look, nobody wants to get dirty, we want to look good and all and everything. But as long over time, if we, over time as we engage ourselves, we're going to look into that direction and we'll dominate it.
Okay, we cannot discuss involvement of our youth in good governance without mentioning politics. When you look at the level of involvement of our youth in politics, their participation, and of course their level of appointment, would you say that you are satisfied yet with their level of involvement?
You know, we always want more. As Oliver, we always want more. But trust me, I'll tell you one thing. Looking at what happened in the last election, 2023 down to now, one young man, I'll still repeat his name, one young man probably stood up and did what we have not seen in a long, we have not seen it. We hardly will see somebody whose father is wanting to become a president, even in the mainstream, being actively politically influencing young people, joining young people to campaign and all of these things. It was something that was very glaring. Nobody needs to deceive us or ourselves. People like me, I came in contact with him. He doesn't know my mom. He doesn't know my dad. He listened to me. I brought ideas that we can use in public, one way or the other, in the public space. He accepted it. We moved on. You know, other people came. That notwithstanding, it still did not disturb him whether you are Igbo, whether you are Hausa, whether you are whether you're Yoruba. So, you know, I'll just tell you that we have produced a 34 years old as minister with his influence, using his father's influence, whichever way. We have produced so many SSAs as SSAs to the president that are within my age bracket. Some are even way younger than I, you know. And this is because this young man stood his ground and felt that you're not going to what? You're not going to lose out. It is our government. And indeed, the father has proven to us through him, because we are now, a lot of young people now that wants to probably be successful politically, it has become a rallying point. If anyone is there still deceiving his or herself, then, you know, maybe they are not seeing what the direction in which we are all towing into. But, you know, as I said, there are times to discuss politics when we are probably in an electoral year. But at the moment now, we have left election. Why don't we move forward and talk about governance? So there are a lot of
but we cannot isolate governance from politics.
From politics.
Yeah, I'm not
Because
saying...
it is politics that will give you the platform for good governance.
I'm not saying we should separate it, but I think it's high time as young people. There are certain things we need to engage ourselves in. There are certain things we need to focus on that we should be discussing about.
So what are some of those things that you think at the moment, because you also think that perhaps as we speak, it is not an electioneering year, but again, we cannot isolate that there are some states. I mean, there are isolated elections in a few states. So if you think that at this moment, attention should shift to perhaps capacity building, perhaps to getting ready towards, you know, an election year, or, you know, galvanizing support for numbers or intellectual development, what are those things that you think at the moment young people should get involved in or get engaged in towards an election year?
Thank you. We gave our mandates one way or the other, both to the president, both to the governor, and both to our House of Reps and our senators. I think it's high time we all focus more on the policies, the drive they bring out. In terms of legislators, we should focus on the bills they are sponsoring, because these are the things that would affect and change my life and your life. In all of these things, we need to engage them more. We need to know. You know, everyone is talking about reform, tax
reform
bill and all. But if you look at it, the whole discussion is not as it should be. First of all, I don't know why we have a problem in the maybe the media, I don't know, in the era of, because of the social media and all of these things, the Twitter platform and all. We tend to send negativity out first, even before we get to look at the advantage of whether this thing is good or bad. When it's thrown out, so we must learn to understand. That's why the issue of politics comes in. We must learn to understand that our country comes first. Okay. We must put bitterness, whether opposition or not, whether you're from this party or not. At this point in time, I'm not ready to discuss whether I'm from this party or this party. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has successfully won an election. He has been given a mandate. And that mandate, same as the governor of Lagos State, who was given his second term mandate. What I should be focusing on is that what are his directions? What is he doing? What is the commissioner for youth doing? What is this particular person, where are they leading us to? What are their goals? What are their aims? Even as much as you and I know that they have a blueprint, they have the electoral promises. How do we ensure that they keep to these electoral promises? Okay. How else do we put them on their toes? But you know, when we get distracted with unnecessary, you know, sometimes it's going to be skits online that we are all talking about, we are moving away. These are part of the things that even delays improvement in our governance, because we get distracted on time. So we need to all come together and probably understand that there are crucial issues we should be talking about.
Okay, if that's your stand, then what kind of engagement are you having at the state and the federal level to ensure that our youth show more interest in some of these germane things that you mentioned, like the tax reform bills and some other policies of government?
Yeah, we have lots of other programs like that in terms of organizing, mentorship, relating with them, letting them know that, oh, these are the policies that are going on this. But you know, Lagos, the numbers are alarming. We are over 222, over 22 to 23 million Lagos population is going into, and most of this population that we are talking about young people have the largest number. So there's no way, and again, there must be willingness. If we throw it online, when what you are interested in is for them to talk about music, skit. So if you're not willing, you will not come to these places where these things are discussed. If we're talking about, go now, let's go, if you go on Twitter now and you check the discussion on the reform bill,
Okay.
or you're talking about, oh, the policies President Bola Ahmed Tinubu brought out and all, go and look at the likes and a lot of people who viewed it. Compared to the video is telling the world that Nigeria is in shambles, is in this, is in that, forgetting that that same Nigeria also made him, and forgetting that his family has also been in the political system for so long. The grandfather was once Osun State governor. The uncle is currently governor of Osun State. But now, a lot of young people have forgotten that his family is also part of the whole thing. So there are certain things that we need to, but you see lots of our young people, they get so distracted, like, oh, there are some things that if I get to read online that you're saying, I don't need to engage you. I just feel I don't need to waste my time because you're not thinking in the direction in which I am thinking. How passionate are many of us? How patriotic are we?
Okay.
We need to be.
Babatunde, let me just quickly, ask you this. I mean, you're talking about how young people can be more engaging, but then there also seems to be the lack of trust. Not only from young people now, but lack of trust from Nigerians generally towards this administration. I don't know if that also is a problem with young people, and if that is a problem, how are you ensuring that young people you galvanize support? Because I know you believe so much in this current administration, and you're not hiding that fact. So how do we ensure that young people also galvanize support within the midst of other younger people to have trust in this administration?
Thank you. The issue of trust, you're diving into a very serious conversation. But you know one thing, trust is something we earn. It's not something we just force on people's throats. I know that the policies of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration would bring out the results expected soon. And this trust will begin to come up over time. But I'll probably employ young people at home to see beyond the wrongs and ask yourself, what can I do to also help change this particular situation we have found ourselves? It's not enough to blame one person. It's not enough to blame those in governance alone. It takes you and I to build a nation. And it takes a whole lot of numbers to bring about change. So for me, I have resorted to, if I say I love my country, it's not about me waiting for one person or the other to make me earn trust in what to do, what not to do. Doing right, I do not need trust to be told what to do right. I do not need trust for me to know what is wrong. I know it, but because I felt that I have lost trust, then I chose to go the wrong route too, which does not make any sense. So for me, that's what I'm trying to tell us, that we cannot continue to wait that, oh, some set of people are the ones who are going to make Nigeria better for us, then we just... No. It's high time we all join in developing that Nigeria if we truly love it.
Okay. Through some of your narrations here this morning, you did say that some of our youth are distracted and they give their attention to unnecessary things. So what are leaders like you doing to ensure that they actually galvanize their energy towards nation building and some other productive venture that will enable them participate effectively in the business of governance?
At the local government in where I probably am eligible precisely, I'm the super for job and wealth creation there. There are so many other engagements in which we do relating to young people. That's at the local level. And now, before I get to the state level, we get to we face a lot of challenges. You might organize a mentorship program in order for you to relate with these people. You might decide to do it entertaining and all. You might not have as much number as you expect to have. Sometimes you might have the expected numbers, but what are the expectations? That the fact that you are there, then there's so much money there, so you must give us money. So these are the challenges that we also face. So, but aside the challenges, over the one or two other people too as well. So that is how we are breaking. I don't wait because there are so many platforms they created about youth media. They are still on. Bates Media, they are still on. Apart from the media streams we're talking about, there are other ones relating to the non-government organization, back to school, these are these are not part of the governance of his dad or something, but certain things that he's doing just touch people's life, the ordinary Nigerian children who don't know who don't know their whereabouts, who feel that there's no direction at one point in time. But trying to path them into the right channel. At the state level, we have different other programs that are going on. These people know. You are talking about, we all know about the Ibile Foundation under the Ministry of Youth. We have the Latif Jakonde Academy. There are so many of these things. They are online. They are, the social media. See, you choose to see what you want to see.
Okay. So the platforms are there, just that the younger people also need to embrace all of these available platforms. I know that earlier when we started this conversation, you mentioned mentorship. And so if you mentioned mentorship and looking at how young people can make their voices count at the moment, is there a generational gap when it comes to governance at the moment? Are there people that are living up to expectations that young people like yourself are looking up to, aside Seyi Tinubu? Are there other people that are there filling the gap, and then young people are also, are they setting the right examples for the younger generation to want to emulate in the issues around governance, in the issues around life generally, in the issues around affecting your generation and impacting your environment?
Yeah, the truth is, yes, we have a few sort of young people who are not doing bad. I'll give you, for instance, the Minister for Youth, Ayo Wisdom isn't doing bad. Moemi Ojudu, she's not doing bad in our own department, in our own sector too as well. There are young people that I feel can, over time, still that we young people, other young people can also look up to. We have a couple of them too. The current commissioner for youth in Lagos State too is also a young man, and he's not doing badly at all. Okay. There are a lot of programs he's also brought up and everything. Yeah, in the issue of gap, yes, the problem is that over the years we have not had it this good. So you do not expect that change to just spring up at once. Since we have not had it this good, the other president, Bola Ahmed, the current president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, built up his own generation that time. But apart from him, look around you. How many people really did what he did? And how old were these people when he probably brought them to wherever they are today? So did we see anyone? If you're going to tell me that, oh, apart from this person, even if it's one person that we are still saying, that one person we are saying, as long as he's able to touch as many people's life as possible, then, we'll all be talking about that one person. Because if I am telling you now from my local level, you're hearing somebody from my state say, it's Babatunde that helped me to do this. And I'm telling that young person that it is through this person that I'm able to do it for you. That person already has an idea about the person I'm talking about. So as long as we can also tie our hands together, whether we must not in any way allow the opposition, whichever way and all and everything, and those who choose to blackmail an individual and all, to malign some people's character or tell us because they are from a particular, because their father has been this before, they do not have a right to fill in the positions in which they ought to. Let this person or that, but I told you there are a lot of young people that are also doing this. The Speaker of Oyo State is a young person too. He's not doing bad. Whether it's from a party or not, it doesn't really mean he's a young person and he's not doing bad. So,
Okay, I'll take you back to Abimbola's question. Leadership is there. So what are the channels that we can use to bridge those gaps so that we can really create opportunity for our young ones?
Especially through, I mean, the coalition of what your own coalition. What are some of those things that, you know, you're galvanizing the young people in your fold to believe in and, you know, to look up to if indeed you want to have a voice when it counts?
what we are looking into is how we can actually encourage one another, help in capacity building, help in also mentorship and all and everything. So probably when you are given opportunity, you will not misbehave. A lot of young people, we have seen young people over the years. Yaya Bello was a governor. Here we are having different EFCC case or the other. There are also other young people too that have also had the opportunity to serve, but they didn't do badly. We had a minister that was also that came in. She was young and all and everything. So guiding these young people, also mentoring them leadership skills and making them understand that when you finally get this opportunity, these are certain things you need to do. These are things, because one, you must also control greed, because this part of the problems are coming. When you get there, there are certain things that you'll be entitled to and all of these things. So that's why I will just tell you that what we are doing is that, you know, it's important you must have, it's like you're climbing a ladder.
Okay.
You must have someone you are holding, you're holding up to.
Right.
It's, with all honesty, I must tell you that a lot of young people now, or not before 2023, there was the vision in the political sector where we're all feeling that we'll do the work now, we'll end up not getting anything. But after the 2023 election, that a lot of people got appointment, young people, when I mean young people, got appointment. It brought a lot of, you know, that interest. Like, oh, if Ayo Wisdom from nowhere, a youth leader in Ondo State, could be minister, Federal Republic of Nigeria, really? At 34? Wow. Really? You have more in you do at 33 thereabout. SSA to the president. You have Shegun Dada. And all of these people also have their own group. They have their own, they are coming from different states.
This is an eye-opener that indeed young people, once they are focused and they have the right person to pull them up, they can achieve their goals and objectives. You're already getting there?
We already found the right person.
Okay, all right. Honorable Babatunde Abdulaziz, Coordinator, Coalition of Lagos Indigenous Youths. Thank you so much for finding time to be here on the program today. Well, we've been speaking with our guests this morning, and of course, they've spoken about what young people can do if given their opportunity, more than as they have been given at the moment. We'll take a break. When we return, the conversation continues.